and sit down. Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake, and we're thrilled to have you guys here with us tonight.
We are indeed. I got worried for a second there. I thought you'd froze. But no, good work. Good work.
No, when I watched last week's episode, there was this weird I guess it takes a second for my mic to kick on.
Okay.
So it you almost can't hear me
Right.
unless I talk for more than like a second. So I'm like, hey, it's me, Jake, and it was like you can say that hear that I'm talking, and you can see that it's moving, but you can't hear it. So I was like, all right, okay.
Right. It was like a little strange little pop glitch thing.
Or something. So.
Yeah. No, all good. Hooray, we're here.
Nice. It's real. It's all happening.
It is episode 20. Who would have thought we'd ever make it this far?
Crazy. This is the Alfarius episode.
It is. I should have thought of that. That would have been awesome. Oh well. Excellent stuff. But we are here. We know we've got some folks in the chat. Who do we have? Who are we saying hello to?
Josh is here. Scott's here.
Scott's here.
There's somebody else here.
Oh. I think that's you. Maybe.
No, that would still only make 4. It says there's 5 people.
Okay. Hello, Scott. Hello, Josh. Hello, everybody else who's watching. Josh says, I will be listening and priming my display wall tonight. Have fun in chat, my fellow peanut galleryans.
I was really bummed. I was looking forward to priming some stuff today so I could work on some stuff, the commission that I've got, or do some more work on it. And it was like just gross out today. It was just raw. It was like 40 degrees all day, and I just didn't have the coverage to I was like, well, I could duck into a back room and do it here at work. And I was like, I'll do it later. And then tomorrow I was like, oh, it's going to be 52. And I'm like, yeah, but it's going to be pouring all day.
Right. Yep. I'm super lucky. I haven't put it together yet, but over the weekend, a care package arrived from Hank at Adepticon. I got one of his old spray booths. So it's fairly big sort of setup. It's about this sort of wide, deep and high. And I'm gonna build a new shelving unit kind of thing in my laundry room. so that I can vent it directly out the same window that the dryer vents out of.
Nice.
Not through the same tube. I'm not going to run it into the dryer and then out again. But yeah, I'll be able to set that up, and that'll be really nice for not having to go outside. And also keeping, when I do spray inside, keeping the level of particulates down. So that'll be good. My wife will be very happy with that.
And it was like with airbrushes, it's really easy. I know like Julio's Word Shop, who makes a lot of our stuff.
Yep.
He makes an in-house like ductable spray table.
Okay.
Now, it's not for spray cans or anything with propellant, but if you're using an airbrush,
Yeah.
it traps all the particulate.
Right. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I was like, that's kind of neat.
That's definitely good for that sort of thing. For sure. But what did you get up to over the weekend? Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, we had a lot to be thankful for. So had my mom came over, and we had some friends over who are also gamers, and they came over, and we my wife hosted and like absolutely outdid herself. We had like crazy amounts of food. It was nuts. We're still like chipping away at stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's been good. How's your Thanksgiving?
It was good. Yeah, it was cool. Went to my sister-in-law's and brother-in-law's place. Whenever they host, they always do a bit of a theme. They just a general sort of theme, and so the theme for Thursday was Sweden. So
Sweden was the theme.
Sweden was the theme. Yeah. So
Okay.
Swedish food really was the way that we went. And by Swedish food, I mean stuff you can get from IKEA.
Okay.
But no,
Not
just
like,
kidding.
not like, salted cod that's been like smoked and like left out and
No, there was no cod. There was no pickled herring. Anything like that.
I don't mind pickled herring.
But the turkey was there was turkey breasts like powdered flat, and then herbs and nut like an herb and nut mixture rolled up inside it, and then that was wrapped in prosciutto. I'm not sure if that's particularly Swedish, but we had that. That was good. Before dinner, we had a little shot of Swedish vodka with lingonberry juice, which was cool. But yeah, so a bunch of things that we don't usually have for Thanksgiving. It was just a nice bit of a special change, but that was cool. How did things go at the store on Friday?
Friday was crazy. It was packed all day. It was actually really good. We didn't have a lot of people playing.
Yep.
But it was like nonstop foot traffic. Like we had tons of customers. It was really busy, which was good. I mean, with the, hopefully we're gonna close out the year on a good note and continue to keep building on our numbers and have another good year. But yeah, it's been hectic. I mean, this is the start. Like the last 6 weeks of the year are traditionally the busiest in all retail. So hopefully that holds true, and it'll be nuts for us. But yeah, Friday was bonkers.
Awesome.
Saturday was good. Saturday was good too. We had more people in the store playing on Saturday.
Okay.
But we still a lot of people in the shop, so it was good.
Cool.
Today I went and got my my booster shot, so I am exhausted. Like it is starting to hit me.
Right.
Like, okay.
You just got to make it another hour. You can do it. And then you can crash on that couch behind you.
I can do it.
That'd be awesome. Games and Stuff is my local store.
Good old Jeff Hall.
So this is part of they're doing a big rebranding effort over the next year. But I've got to ask them a question about the mouse icon. Not sure what is going on there, but what they do over Thanksgiving is Friday they have discounts on pretty deep discounts on overstocked board games.
Okay.
Saturday it is miniatures, and Sunday is role-playing stuff. So, but what they also do is they have an early bird special, basically early bird tickets.
Right.
So, you buy a ticket, and tickets are like $70, And for that, you get a swag bag full of stuff from publishers that's worth about $150.
Okay.
And that $70 goes to charity.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So, and then you get into the store at 7:30 rather than 9 o'clock. So you get your the first pick of the cool items that are on sale. So it's pretty neat. You also get a cool T-shirt.
Nice. When I saw it, I was like,
Yeah.
it looks cool. I was like, but I don't recognize the logo or the purple. Like, their old shirt's like blue, right? It's like blue and black.
Yeah. Yep. Blue, black, and white, and so now purple, black, and white. I'm wondering if I'm not sure if the purple connection is the Ravens connection in Baltimore, but possibly. I'm gonna have to ask them. We'll see Paul at PAX this weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was good. But I went in on Saturday and picked up some. My mind's gone Land Raider Proteus, Leviathan Dreadnought. Got the Slaves to Darkness army box.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And a few other bits and pieces. But yeah.
So speaking of new army boxes, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, but that new Cadian box is disgusting.
Disgustingly
It's
good.
Awesome.
Disgusting.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The guard got like a serious upgrade, and they needed it. Everything in that box is new.
Right.
Like every single model is. So the new just Cadians, I guess, look super cool. They updated the helmets. They look a lot more modern.
Yep.
Their armor is a little more realistic looking. They have knee pads.
Yep.
And then,
Well, they've got knees now, which is cool.
Right. Yeah. So they just have khaki. And then the Sentinel's a little bit bigger. It's not a huge difference, but it's 15% bigger, 10% bigger.
Right.
But it looks a little more. You're like, oh, you could definitely put a guy in there.
Right.
Whereas before you're like, oh, it's the tiniest little guy. There's a Ratling driving it. Those are great, and the new weapon platforms are super cool.
Right.
The bigger ones with the multi-mortar and all that stuff, and the assault cannon thing, and
yeah,
they're just really neat. The
Cool.
field pieces are super cool. So
yeah, I think one of the things I'm interested to look into a little bit further is is with the list Cadian, a Cadian squad. You can have an Imperial Guard squad, which is a generic Imperial Guard squad, but then the Cadian Shock Trooper squad, you can't have a heavy weapon in there anymore.
right.
Yeah, it's the heavy weapons, Cadian heavy weapon teams still exist, but they're a separate thing. But you can't have two guys with a missile launcher, or two guys with a heavy bolter or whatever in your Cadian Shock Troop squad, because it's made based on the sprue and what's on the sprue.
Right.
And the same with the Steel Legion and with the Catachans and that kind of thing. So it's continuing. I think that was kind of the final holdout for. You can take this thing from another box. If you want to include this thing in your squad, you got to buy this other box to get it, which was the last not totally obvious thing in the Games Workshop range.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, so
It's
I thought it was limited. It wasn't limited by your homeworld anymore, right?
well, not now. No. I mean, there's in the Imperial Guard infantry squad. I think you can still attach heavy weapons.
It's just specifically if you do squads of shock troops.
If you do, squads of Cadian shock troops or squads of Death Corps of Krieg, anything that they have a plastic box set for, that doesn't have a heavy weapon in it. So, I mean, you can still run your existing Cadians with heavy weapon teams in them, but they're just not Cadian shock troops. Using that list entry, there'll be Imperial Guard squad or Astra Militarum squad infantry squad.
I think the coolest thing. I mean, we'll have to do an episode next season, but I think the coolest thing about the new guard, because I get to glance through the codex. One of the guys in the shop bought the army box, and the new book is beautiful. Like it's been updated. You can tell that they're kind of teasing this to be the first of the 10th edition codexes.
Oh, okay. Right.
Like I think this one, and then when World Eaters comes out in probably January or February, that'll be like the second one, and then we'll probably get a third one, and then in the summer you're gonna have 10th edition will hit. So they're super cool. They really changed a lot of stuff. The way that you can build your list it feels a little different.
Right.
I think the coolest thing is they basically brought back something from one of the old codexes, which very much like the Space Marines. If you decide to pick your own guard regiment,
yep,
you can pick 2 of the, I forget what they're called. They're like traits or regulations or something.
Yep.
So you pick 2 of them and you can make your own guys. So I was talking to some of the guys in the shop and I said, I really would like to make Tanith. I think they'd be super cool to make them. And he was like, well, like here's the book. Like, you'd pick the 2 that you think make the most sense. So they have one called like Recon, which basically gives everything in your army infiltrate and scout.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, that makes sense. And then the other one is I think it's called like Infantry Veterans.
Okay.
And it basically bumps up some of their stats. And I was like, that makes them Tanith. Like if you do that is super cool. It just seems really neat.
Yeah.
And they give examples in the book. Like there's who's in the book? The Mordians are in the book. The Cadians are in the book. The Steel Legion are in the book. The Death Corps of Krieg is in the book.
Yep.
The Talarn are in the book in like the vehicle section.
Okay.
And then the Attillans are in it just because of the Rough Riders.
Right.
And then I think. Oh, and the Catechins, obviously.
Right. Yep.
The Catechins still look great. I'm really hoping they get some new models. Like there's an awesome short story about how at the beginning of the Imperium Noctis, when the shroud, the veil goes up, a bunch of like random guard regiments that are kind of like lost, they all go to Catechin because they know where it is.
Right.
Because Catechin being a founding world, they have like beacons and all that stuff. So they all come into orbit and they're like, we need to land. And Catechin is like, you cannot land. Like, you will all get killed. Like, you cannot land here.
You don't understand.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, but this is an Imperial world. And they're like, yeah, but it's a death. Like, you can't land here. So there's a few regiments that they trust and they like let them land. Yeah. So one of the little short story bits is there's some obscure regiment from some series of tribal worlds that have like a tribal caste system that apparently the Catechin like senior leadership sees a kinship with, and they're like, you guys can land, you're gonna land here, and they let them land, and you find out that the whole legion is like the whole regiment is corrupted.
Okay.
And basically like they worship chaos, like they've been infiltrated as a chaos cult.
Right.
So they like open up a gate and all these like demons come through and they start like ransacking everything. And they talk about how the Catechins are just like, fine, we'll just kill them. So like they like sort of like go out and they kill a bunch of the demons. And there's this great thing where they talk about how who's the guy with the Iron Hand Straken?
Yep.
It's just like, well, I'll lead the Catechin 7th or whatever it is, and like they go into there, they attack the bunker where they were letting these guys stay, and they kill all of them. Like they put all of them to the knife.
Right.
And then they talk about it's been 6 months since it happened, and Catechin itself has essentially just erased the taint of chaos. Like,
right.
Like the jungle has overgrown all of like the chaos warp sites, and like all the demons that were there, the jungle has just like absorbed it all. Like they're all just gone.
Eating them all. Yep.
Yeah. So we kept talking about like, I was like, can you imagine being one of those demons where you're like, Korn's like, we're gonna invade, we're gonna go to Catechin, and the other demons are like, is it cool if we don't go there? Like, that was terrifying.
Can we just leave that one alone?
Let Slanesh's guys get that. We don't want to go back there.
Excellent. That is good. Just quickly, Scott says, I was able to behave on Black Friday and just got a few hobby things. Ordered some Knucklebones turnip-style stuff off Etsy.
I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what any of that means.
No. I'm aware of what all the words are, but when you put them together like that, I'm not 100% sure. I have to post some pictures, Scott. And so it says, finally assembled one of the weird termite things from the Necromunda Ash Waste Nomads dudes. Fantastically cool minis. Surprised I haven't seen more of them painted. They are awesome. They are indeed. I painted up...
Fleet things?
Yeah. Yep. I painted up 4 of those for the Adepticon team. So they're currently out in Illinois.
There's a guy in our store who plays... I think technically he's playing Tomb Kings.
Okay. Yeah.
And he runs them, so his whole army is very like Egyptian themed.
Yep.
And it looks amazing. So he uses those things as, he doesn't use them as knights. He uses them as like, oh, what the hell does he use them as? I don't remember, but he has them all painted up and they look absolutely spectacular.
Right.
And they're all, he gave them like a jet black sort of sheen.
All
so
right,
they look like
cool.
scarabs.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's such a cool one, but he uses them. I think those models are super cool.
Nice.
I was saying you could use them as like the Rough Riders.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I thought they'd be really cool, like Talaran Rough Riders. Like, oh, they're giant termites that we captured in the desert.
That would be awesome as some kind of termite, some kind of Rough Rider for sure. That'd be cool. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, obviously Necromunda itself is it's a fairly niche game.
Yeah,
it's got a super strong following, or everybody who follows it is super passionate about it. But I think the Ash Waste aspect of it is obviously even more niche. So numbers wise, I'm not sure how many people sort of jumped in and picked it up, but yeah, Scott also says the Fleet Rider things would be awesome. Talon Rough Riders, yep, they would be. But in mine, actually, the guy whose place I went over to and played Heresy weekend before last, he's doing a big game on New Year's Day, which is basically a big Ash Wastes game. And he's putting together the Ridge Hauler and a couple of trailers, and everybody that shows up has to hand him their gang leader.
Okay.
And he's like, all the gang leaders are going to be they're basically incarcerated in these in the containers that are on the trailers, and that truck is heading for the hive. And everybody has to stop the truck and get their leader back.
Okay.
So it's like it's a rolling prison break.
Dude, that's awesome. I really like that new, whatever the hell that new crawler thing is called.
Oh, the iron crawler.
Yeah, that what it has the 2 stubbers on it. That thing looks super cool.
Well, it's basically the Ridge Hauler, but just replace the wheels with tracks. And isn't
it bigger?
No.
Really?
If you look at it, well, now if you check that out and put the 2 pictures side by side, you'll see it's about the same size.
Okay.
It's probably a little bit wider because of the tracks. It just feels bulkier because it's not small cab, big what do you call it? Shipping container behind there.
Right on.
So, but
yeah, dude, I love Necromunda. I think it's such a cool system, and it's super fun to play. The issue that they're running into is the fact that, like, I almost feel like Games Workshop has like overextended themselves.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean, like when you and I were there back in like the early 2000s, you had Specialist Range.
Yep.
And then you had like the flagship games.
Yep.
And then we also were lucky in that Black Library was kind of its own thing. Like Black Library managed itself.
Yep.
You basically had like the main design team working on either Warhammer Fantasy Battles or 40K.
Yep.
And then they added Lord of the Rings to that.
Yep.
But they had their own team. Like they had their own like development team. And then you had Specialist Range, which basically was in charge of everything else.
Yep.
And they weren't really doing anything new. So Specialist Range was basically like, I think at the time when towards the end it was probably like they were working on Battlefleet Gothic. It was like they put out a Necron fleet and they added a few new things, but it was pretty slow moving.
Yep.
And I think the problem they're running into now is that, you know, they're trying to keep everything fresh,
Right.
which is great. But the problem is that like there's so many options
Yeah.
that I think that they're sort of falling into the same problem they had before, which is special ranges by default getting neglected
Yeah.
because people are like, well, I have X amount of money to spend. I was gonna do 40K, and I like Sigmar, but now I'm really gonna get into Horus Heresy. So any money that I had earmarked for anything else is now gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
And they continue to put out new versions of Blood Bowl, and I don't understand why. Like they're like, we're gonna put out another version of Dungeon Bowl, and I was like, you don't need that. There's already Dungeon Bowl.
This is true. This is true. They do make some odd choices, but no, I think you're totally right. The all the it's just that thing. Back in the day, when there weren't as many games, and there weren't as many other options as well.
Right.
There wasn't Song of Ice and Fire. There wasn't Dracula's America. There wasn't what have you.
Right.
There wasn't Warcry. There wasn't Underworlds. There wasn't a thousand other things.
Well, there was still a ton. I mean, when we were
There was
there,
a
there
bunch,
was what?
yeah. But there was just
Ford
enough
had-
for you to be able to play all of them, because
Yeah. And there was a lot. I feel like there was a lot more crossover. Like, so you
Sure.
had Mordheim. So you basically had Mordheim, and you could use Warhammer Fantasy models, and then there were some special ones. Like there was like the Carnival of Chaos, and
Right.
there were some specialist ones that they made. But it was mostly like single characters that you would add to existing. You know, like if you
Yeah.
made the classic Skaven warband where you had like a zillion slingers,
Yep.
you basically just bought a couple boxes of clan rats.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like I think there was a lot more overlap, whereas now they've gone out of their way to make it. And again, the thing that sucks is it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
Like I want all of it, but I'm like I don't have the bandwidth financially or even like concentration wise to have 14 games. Like I already have too many as it is. Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
The Necromunda stuff I absolutely love. I think the models are amazing. I think adding Kill Team was a little confusing because I was like, it's basically just like a slightly different version of Necromunda. Like
Right.
it's different, but it's like it's another sci-fi 40K universe skirmish game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you've got what? Yeah, like you said, Warhammer Underworlds.
Yep.
And those models are amazing. Like I really like that they're letting you use them in Age of Sigmar now because those models they all look phenomenal.
They do.
And that's a really fun game too. And then you've got
And Warcry.
Warcry. Then you've got Titanicus.
Yep.
You've got Aeronautica Imperialis. You've got what else?
Blood Bowl.
The Blood Bowl, and then we won't count Dungeon Bowl. Blood Bowl is just an object.
Yes.
It's the same game.
Dungeon Bowl is in the same.
Yeah,
It's
it's the same
show.
game. So you got that, and then you've got Horus Heresy, Lord of the Rings, 40K, Age of Sigmar. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Old World is coming too. Like you and I talked about last time. I think that we will. Dave and I will go on record as saying that the plan is going to be this summer you'll see 40K 10th edition.
Yeah.
And then next summer, I think you'll see Old World.
Right.
And then from that point on, it'll be a 4-year rotation. So the following summer, so summer of 2025.
Yep.
I think you'll get Age of Sigmar 4th edition.
Yep.
And then summer of 2025 you'll get
2026. You'll get Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll get Horus Heresy
Third
edition technically, I guess.
Yeah. That's
Which
our
I think-
that's our prediction.
Yeah. I mean, it's having you and I both having worked at the company for a long time, like we understand like their launch schedule and like a lot of the thought process, but I also think that GW has put themselves in a bad spot, kind of their own doing, but like part of it isn't. I think the secondary market and the resellers market
Yep.
has caused all kinds of weird fluctuations and problems in their sales
Right.
to the point that now I don't think they know how to like deal with that.
Sure.
It's like, oh, well, this new box set sold out in, less than an hour. And it's like, right, but I didn't get as many as I want, and Jeff didn't get as many as he wants. So our customers now can't get them unless they pay a premium and order it from, Uncle Daryl's Closet Games that's like at some warehouse in the middle of nowhere that isn't an actual store.
Sure.
So
it's a closet.
Yeah. Legit. But I think that they need to figure out a way to address that stuff. The second the resellers market is killing them because it inflates their numbers.
Yep.
And then the interest goes out the window. Like there was a guy I was talking to the other day talking about Necromunda. He's selling it's whatever the newer Necromunda box is, the one that came with all the crazy terrain.
Yep. The Ash Waste.
Yeah, the Ash Waste box. So he bought, I don't know how many he bought. He bought a ton of them.
Right.
So in this like Necromunda thread that a bunch of my friends are in, this guy has been offering them since they came out.
Right.
And at first they were like, he had them for I think 20% over what they were originally tagged for because they were sold out.
Yep.
And then he dropped it to original cost, and then he dropped it for 10% off, and because I think that box was what, $300?
Something like that. Yeah.
He has them up now for $150.
Right.
And nobody's buying them because he just sat on them for too long.
Yep. It's a tough thing. You're right. The resellers market has changed a lot of things, without a doubt. Without doubt. Aaron says, small corners of the internet I run around have said much the same thing. It just feels diluted for the player base. I think I was going back to talking about there are so many things going on.
Yeah.
Fabrice is here. Hi, Fabrice.
Epic's coming.
Pardon?
Epic's coming. He's right. Epic's coming. Like the 3-step was that they released Aeronautica first,
right,
and then after Aeronautica they released Titanicus.
Yep.
Or was it? Do I have it backwards?
I might have it backwards. Yeah, it might be backwards. I'm not sure.
Okay.
They've released a lot more stuff for Titanicus though, but
yeah. So you got those two, and then the rumor that I had heard is that we're gonna get a tank battle box that's gonna be called Talarn, and it's the Heresy battle between with all the tanks that obliterates Talarn.
Okay.
And then that'll be like the final piece to actually have epic. So you can have like infantry stands and tanks and.
Yeah, that's crazy because I've been listening to Talarn when I go walking. The audiobook. Excellent. Dave Hummel's here, but Scott has a hot take. GW minis have never been better, and I'll pay whatever they charge. GW games have never been worse, and I don't really play them anymore. Hot take. Hot take. Super edgy. Thanks for that, Scott. Aaron says, might be time to create that travel Warhammer 40k set I wanted to make like 10 years ago. You should totally do that. I have plenty of thoughts on that. I made one of those in 97, I think. 96, 97. But yes. Dave Hummel's here. Howdy. Howdy, Dave. Dave Rumson says, I'm so ready for Epic. I have a squad army already.
Nice.
Very cool. I mean, my squats, speaking of squats. Yeah.
Dude, he's good.
I've got, I put together
is he like the size of a Space Marine? Yikes.
My painting tree. Is he the size of a Space Marine? Give me a sec.
The big guy with the hammer and the shield.
Yep. Give me a sec. So that's a Mark IV Space Marine. There
yeah, he's like the size of a Space Marine.
He's up on a rock, so
he's pretty close.
He's not far off it.
What's up, Jeff?
Compared to the so that's like a regular Hearthguard.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
He's pretty beefy.
James, it's not just tabletop wargaming. We talk about kind of everything, a lot of painting, building model kits, but we've talked about Dungeons and Dragons as well on here, and
yep.
But
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be tabletop wargaming.
Jeff is here. Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, and I also painted up.
Oh, dude, with the helmet, I like that
Some of the
guy.
Ironhead Squat Prospectors. So
I like those models.
they are pretty cool. I went for a X-wing pilot inspired scheme.
Nice. I like that.
So got like a rusty orange color.
Is the suit ridged, or is that because of the way he has his arm?
No, the arms are ribbed like that.
Oh, like the 1950s like spacesuit. That's awesome.
Yep. And then some of them, the ones that have the like the pistols, they have like other sleeves over the top.
Nice. Yeah, those models are really cool.
They are good. I like them a lot. But
the Ash, all the Necromunda Ashway stuff is super cool. Did you see the new ones that got teased? The
hang on.
Oh man, yeah, that guy's great. The weird like leg extension things are they're so weird. I'm like, oh cool, I'm on like a 6-inch stilt.
Yep. Basically, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, the new Ashway stuff is cool. The newest thing that they just teased is the new Escher swoop bikes.
Oh yeah, they look great.
Which it always cracks me up that they're like, the Imperium doesn't have hover bikes anymore, and I'm like, except that they do. Like apparently, like Clan Escher has gotten their hands on a bunch, and like they're like nobody has them though. I'm like, except for this gang on a random planet has some.
Yeah, for sure. But yep. Ooh, Keith is here. Hi, Keith.
What's up, Keith?
Yep, James was a regular in the chat for the Painting Happy Little Minis show that Livestream used to be on. Chris says the Lord's daughter model. Man. Yeah, Lord Helmwar's daughter.
I don't think
I think they showed her off today or yesterday.
Is that the blonde with like the crazy like hoof high heels and like the?
No, she's in a very in a blue dress with like cherubs holding up parts of it and loads of like frilly petticoat stuff going on underneath, and she's got a spear and a sword.
I have not seen that. I will look right now.
It's pretty impressive.
What's it called?
She's Lady Helea Helmore. But she does look amazing.
Let's see.
Scott says the Ironhead Squat Prospector
that
arms.
model's awesome.
Yeah, she is awesome. You have to post a link to it in the group. Yep. But the Scott says the Ironhead Squat Prospector arms are like Robbie the Robot from Lost in Space. I thought the minis were terrible, so I bought a box, ironically. Turns out they're wicked awesome, fun to paint.
Dude, she better be plastic.
No, she's going to be resin.
Forge World, get your crap together.
She'll be resin. It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Fabrice is like the Rogue Trader model. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, she'd be great as a Rogue Trader.
Oh, yeah.
Or an Inquisitor. She'd be a great Inquisitor.
It'd be fantastic. What's it called? The Rogue Trader from the Blackstone Fortress escalation box. You know her with the blade leg and the servo skulls.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to convert her into the Vanis Temple assassin.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Venenum assassin.
The
Venenum assassin, or the
Vanis, the Infocyte assassin.
Yep.
It's the assassin that kills through information.
Dude, talk about a box I wish they hadn't discontinued. Blackstone Fortress is such a cool. It's not only is it a great game, the miniatures are fantastic.
They are cool. They're awesome.
and all these expansions are great too, like the Zote.
Yep.
Like this, I was blown away when they were like, we're releasing a Zote model, and part of me was like, why? And the other part of me was like, that's amazing.
Yep. I think that's I can't believe we didn't discuss that in our when we did our nostalgia mining episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. Well, it's super obscure. Like nobody played Zotes. Like,
Oh, sure, yeah.
what Rogue Trader? I think you could technically use them.
Yeah, they were there in Rogue Trader and in 3rd edition Warhammer, but after that, they disappeared. But Dave says all those assassin models look great. They do. They look nice. And you said it's next week, so I guess Saturday they'll go up for the
I think so.
Liber Imperium Horus Heresy.
Yeah, so Liber Imperium is weird because technically it went up like 3 weeks ago, but then they had that issue with like their shipping containers.
Right.
So like it got delayed and they didn't know when it was coming out.
Okay.
But now, from the rumors that I've heard, it's supposed to go out next Saturday. I think it drops technically.
Okay.
But yeah, the Venetum stuff I believe will be going up too. So.
Right. Excellent.
I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm a little bit loopy from the
booster shot.
I think that's right.
Cool thing. Should we jump in to have a look at some Horus Heresy stuff and talk about where we're at?
Horus Heresy Revisited.
What we think about it? Yep. Mainly, just to let everybody know, the folks who haven't been back and watched episodes 0, 1, and 2, where we talked a lot about Horus Heresy, because we were right in the middle of being super excited about it. This is just a sort of comeback because it's technically the penultimate episode of the season, of season 1.
Great word.
Yep, penultimate. It is awesome. Yep. Love it. Jake and I will be back in 2 weeks' time with a holiday special. And then we'll launch season 2 in.
It'll be our intermission episode between season 1 and season 2.
Season 2. So yeah, in January 10th, we'll come back for season 2. We'll take a break. Just quickly though, Fabrice says PAX. Both Jake and I will be at PAX. You're gonna be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Fly in on Friday morning, and then I'll be there the whole time, and then basically after me and Rick finish and if anybody's gonna be around, come to the painting class.
Yep.
After we finish the painting class, I'll probably get something to eat with you guys, and then hang out for an hour or two, and then head to the airport. I fly home Sunday night.
Right. You're flying?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, crazy.
Well, I told you my whole. Did I not tell you my whole trip got monkey wrenched?
Well, no, you didn't tell me about it, but that's okay. You can tell me about it on Sunday. I'm catching the train up. But just quickly, Scott says, how many weeks? So we will be off for a week. We'll be back on the 13th of December. And then we'll be off for 3 weeks, is it?
Yeah, so we're off the 6th.
4 weeks.
We'll be back the 13th.
Yep.
And then we're off the 20th, the 27th, and the 3rd. And then we'll have a show on the 10th.
10th, yeah. So season 2, episode 1 is January 10.
Yeah. So we're basically taking a month off, but there's like a holiday episode after the first week. So.
Right. Excellent. I will just be there on the Sunday, and the classes that Jake was talking about is we'll be doing some painting classes with Rick Agney, our buddy. Who will be doing, I'm not sure where he's doing it. I haven't paid attention to that at all.
This is really bad. Dave and I we should know this stuff since we're inviting you guys to come to it. I will find out. Like I can call Rick.
Sure.
Or I'll just message him while we're talking.
On. We'll find out again.
Back to me.
2 weeks. Scott. Oh, okay. I see where Scott's going with this. How many weeks until the next episode? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. There we go. Finally, we got to go back to we got to circle back around to a very early Total Recall reference. Jeff will be at the Chicago Force 9 booth. Blair and Fabrice will be looking for us.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to sit down with Fabrice and Blair and like hang out and like catch up. I haven't seen Blair in a while. I haven't seen Fabrice in months.
Dave Hummel asks, the holiday special going to be like the Guardians of the Galaxy cool? Or like Star Wars holiday special oddness?
I'm gonna say somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle?
That seems safe.
Leaning more towards the Star Wars, though, I think. But yes, thanks, Scott. Finally did get there. Awesome. So, quickly, we're going to go through and show you a bunch of cool things. We're starting off with this mini for Cathy Wappel. So I think we will mention it, but something that happened, something sad, tragic really, that happened over the weekend was that Ed Pugh, the owner, founder, driving force behind Reaper Miniatures, passed away. Very short illness took him over the weekend. So we send our condolences to the Reaper family, everybody who's involved in with Reaper and anything that happens with Reaper. Also to my friend Victoria Lamb, who for Victoria Minis, who was Ed's partner. Very tough time all around. So
yeah, that was like really unexpected and came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I was
Completely.
telling friends like I just saw him at Gen Con. It feels like.
Right.
I was like, oh yeah, a couple months ago.
Yep. Well, he would have just been at ReaperCon as well in September. But yeah, just really really tragic stuff. So
he was super cool, like and always like really engaging. Like every time I had dealings with him or talked to him, he was always like willing to like hang out and have a conversation, and was like super like down to earth and always like in a good mood, always like really funny. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had anything but like an awesome interaction with him, and it just sucked like hearing that. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, all of our you know, obviously our thoughts are with those people, and I hope everything is okay. And I'm sure that they'll keep trucking along. You know, and they make great stuff. Like I think he's done a great job of kind of instilling the way he wanted stuff done at that company, and I think that they do things the right way. So I think that as long as they stick to that plan, I think they should be fine.
Yeah. Indeed.
But yeah, the best way to kind of honor him, I think, is just have Reaper just keep on trucking. So.
Yep. So definitely jump on the Reaper site. There's a link in the notes below. You'll be able to see the link to the Cathy Wappel tribute miniature. So if you pick up a copy of that, proceeds go to Cathy and Jim to help Cathy through her tough time fighting cancer at the moment.
And after you paint it, send Dave and I pictures.
Yeah, that would be great. We would love that. Right, so now we're going to move on to... We're going to lift the mood back up with some... I think these are the Galatus Contemptor Dreadnoughts for the Legio Custodes. I think, were you just pretending to have frozen there?
That's their up armored Contemptor.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, additional cool sweeping eagle armor with a wonderful sword and board action.
Yeah, they're super cool. The models are great. Like the cool like shaped greaves on their legs are super cool. Like it flows around and has like the little pieces that come off.
Yeah, it definitely looks super neat. So just quickly, Cat Swift. Hey, Cat. Great to see you. Dave, will this be the new place to find your painting? I'll be here. Probably each week I will show some painting that I've been doing. We haven't actually done any painting on stream because, as you can see, Jake and I are doing this from our basements. And I don't have the marvelous technical support of Leona to keep everything running. So I haven't worked out yet how to put to connect another camera through to my computer because all the sockets are full.
We will, though.
We will. Yeah, we'll get there. But fingers crossed we'll be able to to get to that point where we'll be doing some painting here. But yeah, great to see you, Kat. Fabrice asks, Forge World? Yes, the minis are from Forge World, from the Custodes range. And those bases are custom bases. So I painted these up for as a commission for a friend of a friend. And yeah, they sent me these bases that are really quite intricate. Looks like they're 3D printed. But lots of paving stones and that kind of thing. Patterns.
Yeah, I like how you painted it like a mosaic.
Yeah, there's kind of those mosaic sort of patterns through the board, and when I got those, I got a sample mini, which was a jet bike guy. I would hold it up to the camera and show you, but I sent them back to the client today.
And if you watch last week's episode, you can see one.
Pardon? Oh yeah, that's right.
If you watched last week's episode, I think you showed one off.
I think you're right there. Squeaky Cat says, so it's a work in progress. It's always a work in progress, Cat, for sure. Season 2, which is going to start coming up January 10th. We're going to be much better. It's still work in progress. Yeah, we're Tuesdays at this time. So for us on the East Coast here, it's 7 till 8:30 usually. So for you, it will be 4 till 5:30, I think. But yeah, the bases were quite cool. He sent me those through. Some of them had already been painted. Some of them hadn't been painted, so I had to match the painting, which was really interesting.
Matching gold is a pain.
Yeah, the crazy thing with the matching the gold was I was like, this isn't straight up. This isn't like spraying at Retributor armor gold or just grabbing like bright gold from Pro Acryl or that sort of thing. And so I sent off a question to my client, and the person who'd painted his other models sent back a paint recipe basically for each of the colors, and I went and bought where is it? See it somewhere. Anyway, it's on the table there. The bronze, because they were like, Vallejo model color bronze is the base coat. And I bought that, and I put it down, and it was like, this is so not the base coat. Vallejo. And so I was like, let me paint over this with Vallejo game color brassy brass. And lo and behold, that was the base coat. So it was brassy brass, it was Racklin flesh shade shading, and a dry brush of like Sycorax bronze. GW.
Yeah, Sycorax is one of my favorite colors. It's such a cool color.
And then a bit of that mixed with some silver to pick out the edging. But yeah, and in the end, once I'd made that final leap as to what the base color was, everything else went smoothly. It was nice.
I do like that they have twin-linked heavy flamers in the hilt
of the sword.
Yeah, you like chop something and then you're like burn that.
Barbecue it. You just skewer it and barbecue it as you're going.
Pretty good.
That's the way to do it.
So I've never used these because they're custodes models. The things over their head, are those heavy bolters?
Oh, I'm gonna have to get back. Hang on a second. No, they aren't. I think they might be like smoke launchers or something like that. But yeah, they're not a hardcore weapon.
Right on.
But
yeah, they're pretty cool. They're cool looking models.
They are neat. They're good.
They just look like big custodes.
Pardon?
They just look like big custodes.
They do. And then there is the Sisters of Silence. So a squad of those. And the instruction for these was, as you please, but make sure they kind of connect to the Custodes. So I went for the gold armor. Initially I was thinking silver, but I think this worked out pretty well. And Kat says, yeah, it is a great shot of the variation on the bases.
Yeah, the mosaic pattern seems like it could be exhausting if you do too much with it. So
yeah, you got to keep it fairly simple. But it was good. The weird thing is that the lower part of the bases is painted with pallid witch flesh, and the raised area is shaded with athematic blue. So your curb and your your pavement and your sidewalk is different.
Like if you look at the girl on the left.
Yeah, you maybe see that this is bluish, and this is not bluish. This is warmer. So it was kind of there were a lot of things going on with those bases. So it was nice to be able to. I painted them separately, but yeah, They are the Sisters of Silence are the list that I'm most intrigued to read about when that Liber Imperialis book hits.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff down that end, and picking up some of those transports that they have. The
that like modified termite thing.
Yeah, just the big floating things with the.
It looks like a sandworm.
Sandworm mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the look of those. So I think I'll probably end up doing an army of them. But the next thing that I painted was the this is another great example of the mosaic base. But I painted up the Caladius grav tank for it as well.
That thing is cool.
Yeah, it is really neat. This one was kind of interesting because my client had already had one of these painted by somebody else, but he didn't send me that to copy from, and I didn't realize until like I was kind of halfway through, and he mentioned that he had another one, and I was like, "Oh, can you send me some photos of that so I can try and match it?" So the other one was very simple. So this is it's kind of got the similar sort of treatment.
You can see the guts of the new Primaris vehicles in this thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But I think they were probably designed around the same time, similar time. 2015.
Technically, you mean the design, the actual sculpts?
Like the sculpts, yeah. 2014, 2015 for the Caladius.
I think these were first.
They might have, yeah.
I think these were first, but I definitely think that they did a really smart job lore-wise, because the whole idea is that after the Heresy, when Gilliman's like, "Hey, Belisarius Call, you're going to design me reinforcements." Well, I'm going to go get paralyzed, and then he's gone for the next 10,000 years, and then he shows up and calls like, "Oh, hey, I finished your order."
Yeah. Here you go. Yep. But these are definitely fun, and those big sort of flat panels or curved panels, I guess, at the front are always nice to paint. But thankfully, I was able to do a lot of fun stippling on these to get those crazy lovely highlights going. But yeah, that was fun. Fun. Next up. Oh, is Dave still with us? Dave Hummel? Hopefully he is. But before I switch to that, Scott says, "I'd rather drive a number 11 hobby blade right through my eye before painting all the pieces like that, Dave." It's like, yeah, it wasn't too bad.
All the non-metallic he does, this is easy.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there was a bit of work in there. Speaking of number 11 blades, if you ever need some, always order them by the 100.
I could not tell you the last time I even replaced one of my blades.
Really?
100%.
Where's my... That's my shop straw.
Save that up.
Fun?
You're just going to save that?
Well, rather than just like throwing that at, like a dulled blade in the trash. When that gets full, and then I'll put that whole thing in the trash.
In the recycling?
Well, no. Probably.
Yeah, it's a glass jar and it's metal.
Well, they're not going to... What they'll do is they'll just pick it out, and they'll throw it in the trash. That's what they'll do on the recycling line. But anyway, moving right along. Dave Hubble's here. He's hasn't done much painting on his Horus Heresy stuff, but he has gone through and assembled 20 Marines, and these were the original resin heavy weapons. So,
he's got flamers, he's got autocannons, he's got
heavy bolters,
burst cannon thing.
Oh, the rotor cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, second row's rotor cannons.
Yep. So that's a really good start. Next thing you need to do, after you put all those ammo feeds in, Dave, is prime them and get them painted. But yeah. So just quickly, Josh says, Cole Duncan, because evidently painting walls in a house also requires 2 thin coats. Yes, even with primer. Even the primer. So it says, Steve just saves the blades for Halloween and puts them in candy apples. He's a monster. That's what I've heard. Oh, Dave Humble says, that was ordered in the week before they teased the new plastics. Damn it. It's always the way, Dave. It's always the way. But, yeah, that's a great set of minis there. Next up. Oh, and do we have Jeff? Here still. I think this next model that I'm going to put up from Jeff is his kind of like an ode to Jake.
Nice.
Yeah, can you see it?
It's good stuff.
Lovely Blood Angel Praetor.
Dude, he's the best. That's Ralderon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is that a Forge World model or?
Yeah, that's Ralderon. He's the first company captain.
Right. I didn't realize that they'd done models, they'd done character models like that.
Oh, dude, there's a bunch of them.
Has he been around for a while?
Yeah, he's been around for a while. Have you seen the Saul Tarbit's model?
Yeah.
He's one of the newer ones. He looks amazing. Yeah, all the named characters are really good. There's like 4 Imperial Fist guys. There's a couple of, I think there's 2 Space Wolf characters.
I guess it's just because I've never read anything about the Blood Angels in the Heresy.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't really interest me.
Well, a bunch of these guys are in books that aren't Blood Angels books. Like Ralderon's, I think the first book that he's in is it's the book that's mostly about Magnus. It's the one where they go to the Council of Nicaea.
Okay.
Did you read that one?
Nah.
So that one, like, there's a whole bunch of them. That's the one where, like, Mortarion is like, Dad, Magnus is still trying to be a wizard. So they have, like, the Council of Nicaea, and there's this great scene where Sanguinius shows up and Rogel Dorn show up, and they're, like, having a conversation in a room with, like, 3 of their brothers.
Right.
And the door outside is being guarded is the wrong word because it's a room full of Primarchs that I think they can handle themselves. But, like so everybody else is asked to wait outside. So there's a great scene where Ralderon is outside, and he's talking to some other guy,
Yep.
and then Sigismund is there.
Right.
And Ralderon and this other guy are talking about how, like, well, you know, the other Marine is like, well, what are you going to do when all this is over? And Ralderon's like, I mean, I'll probably just build stuff, or I'll probably, like, you know, paint occasionally in my free time. But, you know, I'm assuming that, you know, the Imperium's going to need lots of buildings, and they're going to need, like, new temples and chapels and houses for the people kind of thing. And there's Sigismund kind of, like, grunts under his breath and, like, what are you going to do? And he's like, you guys are fooling yourself. Like, there will always be war.
Yeah.
But it's a cool thing because it's, like, the first time that Ralderon kind of gets, like, introduced. You're like, oh, who the hell is this guy?
Right here.
And Ralderon's basically like, settle down, kid.
Yeah.
Like,
Chill. Chris Gawker says, I ordered my shoulder pads and heads on Friday, so soon I will be painting my Horus Heresy Night Lords.
nice.
Yep. So, quick question for you, Chris. I know, so your painting style is typically, there's a lot of dark or desaturated colors with a pop color. And my question would be, is the pop color going to be the red for the wings, the winged helmets and winged icons, that kind of thing? Or will it be the bone, the skull?
Or the lightning bolts.
Or is it going to be the lightning bolts? Which of these three things is it going to be? Or is it going to be all three? I'm curious.
All be color.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be very interesting to see the way Chris handles these Night Lords. They're going to look good. So yeah, that was Jeff Smith. We have another one from Jeff. This is
Jeff. He looks great, by the way.
Yeah, he does look great. So we have the Chris says probably the red and the lightning. Excellent. Looking forward to that. And Cass says, I don't think it matters what he picks. It'll be fantastic. Yep. Definitely be good. But, so yeah, Jeff's got a Space Wolf Praetor here. Is this one of the named characters as well, or is this the generic generic?
I don't think this is a name. I mean, Jeff would know. I don't know a lot of the Forge World stuff, other than like there's a couple of newer ones that I know.
Yep.
I don't think he's a named character.
No.
I think it's just a Praetor.
Yep. Sorry, just recess. It's a shame Jeff doesn't have a feel for Space Wolves. It's true. It is. But Jeff says, nope, just a generic character. But he does look very cool. Icy, in fact.
Yeah, very, very cold.
Very cool.
Zero practically.
Yep. I think that this model might have been released at the same time. There were some other... Might have been some other Terminator models where the bolters on the Storm Bolter were upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was the...
Remember that? Yep.
Yeah, oh, God. That was the whole Space Wolf release.
Yep. It was kind of crazy. But, yes. Anyway, no, looks great, Jeff. Nice work. And we have one last one from Jeff here, which is the another Space Wolf Praetor.
Did you green on the previous guy? Did you green stuff the hair like coming out of the mantle, or is that just part of the sculpt?
Nope. Hang on a sec. I'll get back to it.
That's a great model, by the way.
Yeah.
See the way like his hair looks like it's coming out of the cowling. Oh no, he said it's just the model.
Yep.
It just got me thinking. Like, did you see the speaking of squats? Did you see the guy that converted his entire Hearthkin so they all look like berserkers?
No, I didn't see that.
They're phenomenal. I'll see if I can find the pictures.
Find it and send me the link, yeah, for sure.
He greens them. They all have like crazy handlebar mustaches that are like flowing into like their armor and stuff. Okay. They all have like crazy hawks coming out of the top. Like they look insane.
Yep. No, you'll definitely have to send me a link. It'll be very cool.
It looks like a 40K Slayer army is what it looks like.
Nice.
It's pretty impressive.
Excellent. Oh, that's good. But yeah, as I said, so this is the second one from Jeff, and I think this is the I can never remember the name of this console. It's not the Siegebreaker. It's the
he's definitely wearing Tartaros Terminator armor.
Yep.
You can tell by the bullet shaped like chest piece.
Chest piece, yeah. But he's got that heavy Haval Redmane. He's got a heavy weapon there.
Is that that's just a heavy bolter, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. But
all of the fourth grade company, nice. That axe is great. The green touches on it to make it look like a frostblade. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And the pose is cool, super cool as well.
He seems nice.
Yeah, pleasant chap.
Yeah, I'm sure he's.
I don't know. I think it'd be awesome.
He's just a big dog. He just wants his belly rubbed.
What, the model or Jeff?
Either.
Both. Yep. Dave Humble says, love the heavy bolter instead of the normal Tome weapons. But very cool there. Looks excellent.
Yeah, it looks great.
He's a good boy, says Jeff.
He's on like, what is he on? Is that like an 80 mil?
It couldn't be that. I think it's a 60. Let us know.
He is definitely not modeled for advantage. Like he's like this high off the base.
Yep.
Somebody's like, I want to shoot him. You're like, he's behind a lantern. I was like, yeah, but I can see him. He's like sticking out over the top
I
of
can
it.
still see him, yep. That is perfect.
It's a great model, though.
Right, yes.
Nice work, Jeff.
So I'm guessing that most people are still working on their Horus Heresy stuff. Oh, there we go. Jeff says it's a display base and a game base is hidden within it, like the Primarch models.
Oh yeah, I can see the
See
seam.
the lip of it there?
Yeah, that's pretty
You lift
cool.
him out.
Very sneaky. Very sneaky. Nice work, Jeff.
Good job. Good job. Pardon me. But yes, as I said, I think that most folks are still working on their Horus Heresy armies, if they were working on them. I know you're still working on your Iron Warriors.
It's like a never-ending task, but yeah.
Just still working on Space Wolves, but he'll always be working on Space Wolves. Dave Hummel's just getting started on some guys. Chris Gorka will have some Night Lords very soon, no doubt.
Look at this clutch of traitors.
Yeah, check them all out. Aren't they awesome? So yeah, somehow I managed to get this to loop. It's pretty cool.
Nice work. I mean, I don't like them, but they're painted very well.
Thank you. Thank you. Is it that they're word bearers that puts you off?
The word bearers, they're gross.
Yeah. They're the worst.
They are the worst.
Fantastic.
Even word bearers don't like word bearers.
Well, they certainly don't like all word bearers.
Look, the sergeant's about to shoot this other guy in the back.
Yeah, well, he's about to like renounce the emperor or something like that.
Did you hand paint all the demon skulls?
Oh, and the shoulder pads?
Yeah.
They're all from they're all the 3D prints from Pop Goes the Monkey. So yeah, they're the
Oh, nice.
that has so it's got Flame, it's got the book, and it's got the demon skull on it. But yeah, so they're 3D prints, and then obviously I painted the prints. Anything else, like there was a guy that just had a tactical symbol on his shoulder pad. I think like the sergeant's got one. Is coming around. All that's freehand.
Nice.
And then of course all of the little script work is all freehand.
Yeah, that's your green stuff trick, right?
For the
That's your green stuff trick, the ribbons, all the extra purity seals, or did you use just the regular?
no, all the extra purity seals are all green stuff.
Nice.
For sure. But yeah, I was going to say if you're going to be working on a Horus Heresy army, this is the first thing that you need. They don't need to be word bearers, but you do need 20, like a blob of 20 Marines with bolters to be the core of your army. This is why I put them first, because they're always my starting point whenever I build a list.
So yeah, I like the list that I'm making. I mean, we already talked about this. My Iron Warriors list is the complete opposite. I don't think it's going to have any infantry in it at all. But I'm deliberately running the Armored Spearhead. Like I wanted to do. I always run infantry lists. I never run vehicles, and I'm like, I want to run vehicles this time. So
yeah,
I kind of went the other way. I'm debating whether or not I want to run. I may run a. What's the heresy? Was it the Damocles Command Rhino?
Okay. Yep.
So I might run that. It's basically a Razorback. Like if you take it because of all the extra gear, it can only carry 6 dudes.
Right.
That's why I might take that. Take a Warsmith and a whatever it is, a fraternity of Tech Marines.
Yep.
I don't know what I forget what the term is, but so I might take a group of them and then
I think it's a flatulence of
Tech Marines. That might be
flatulent
correct.
Tech Marines. That might be just Death Guard only, but
It's possible.
yeah.
So I'm gonna take I think 3 Tech Marines, and then the Warsmith counts as a Tech Marine. So the Armored Spearhead has all these weird rules. Like in order to start the game, everything has to be in a vehicle.
Right. Okay.
So everything will start like that, and then on turn 1, they'll all get out,
Yep.
and they'll all stay near a group of vehicles because it's all tanks.
Sure.
So I'll have a Tech Marine with every tank. So
Nice.
or every 2 tanks, I'll have a Tech Marine.
Okay. You gotta share them.
Yeah, but that'll be the only infantry that's in the army is those 4 guys.
Oh my god, it's gonna be terrible.
So, that'll be fun. So we'll see.
That sounds bad. Sounds awful.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
What's that?
Josh is like, I'm continually working on my Iron Warriors too, Jake. It can be quite perturbing at times.
Haha, nice.
My army is Perturabo free because we're loyalists.
Okay. Now, some of them I didn't get to loop, so I'm going to have to try and make this work somehow. Let's see. There we go. So this is my second choice for models to put into a Wordbearer's army. The Mighty Gal Vorback.
Yeah, they're so good.
So I've got 10 of those now. 5 of them are the original Forge World models, and 5 of them, the ones that are at the front at the moment, are all the possessed, the 40k Chaos Space Marine possessed models.
Are they really the same size?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh. Now I have to keep pressing a button to have that play again.
Sure, the new possessed would be a little bit smaller.
No, it varies. Some of the there's some size variations in the original Forge World Gal Vorback. But
That's the best. The guy on the right now with the lobster claw and like the Wolverine claws.
yeah, yep,
He's pretty
he is
cool.
neat. But I love these guys. And
The guy with the weird like, they got the weird like saw arm with the teeth in it.
yeah,
That one's pretty cool too.
it's one of my favorite things about the those Forge World ones is that all the blades, those bladed arms, look like they're jaws, they're jawbones.
Yeah.
So yeah, very nice.
Cat.
Yeah. Perhaps someone should have paid closer attention to Leona's tech skills. For sure. Guilty as charged. So...
Are the blade slaves the same size as these guys?
They're similar. Yeah, they're a little bit bulkier. So similar height. Dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts. As we know, Dreadnoughts are awesome in the current edition, the 2nd edition. So, again, like, even in that last game that I played, the Contemptor with the twin Gravis melter cannons popped a Spartan in the first, with its first shooting phase at it. So it's got to get within 12 inches.
That's your Marigal.
No, sorry, that was the Contemptor with the twin Gravis melter cannons was able to do that.
That's your Marigal.
Oh,
right?
sorry. Yeah, I've got 2 Marigal there. One's the Forge World model, and one's the converted model that I did. So the one with the horns and the huge claw extended is the converted one that I did. The one that's coming around now is the Forge World model.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they've been a lot of fun to play with. And I think everybody that I've played against agrees that the Marigal is just is a Leviathan Dreadnought turned up to 11.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty good. Like we talked about there, it's just backwards. So it's strength 8, toughness 7. Oh no, sorry, it's
Strength 8, Toughness 7. You're right.
strength 8, toughness 7, but it's toughness 7, 8 wounds, whereas the Leviathan is toughness 8, and it's got
7
8
wounds. Yeah.
7 wounds.
But most of the time, the toughness element doesn't really come into it.
Yeah, against other dreadnoughts, probably not so much. Like, I still think if anything that the Leviathan gets a charge off is dead. Like, the Leviathan is just terrifyingly dangerous.
Yeah, this is true. But if you're putting together, James Lacour says, wounds on dreads in Heresy made them so good, maybe too good, possibly.
Yeah, they're so.
Yeah, I think it might just be the number of wounds. I think if we knocked...
even the regular Contemptor, the way you have it loaded out with the 2 melta-guns.
Yep.
That thing is awesome.
Yep.
That's part of the reason why the Leviathan is good. It comes with 2 built-in melta-guns.
Right. Yep. But no, they're definitely cool. I love them. If you're building a Horus Heresy army, very definitely consider picking up some dreadnoughts. These are just I put these 2 together because they fit on the turntable.
Nice.
But I have my Breacher squad there with their human shields.
Oh, such a twisted idea. I love it. They look great.
Yep. The Ushmetakal, the Brotherhood of the Knife.
What did you use for models on them?
They're basically the cultists, the Chaos cultist models.
The cultists, okay.
Yeah, very, very little conversion work, if any. But also on that spinner, I've got a unit of 5 Tartarus Terminators. Just because for the longest time I've had some Tartarus Terminators sitting around, so...
The Tartarus armor, it's so awesome.
I thought I'd add them in there.
That absurdly oversized autocannon, it's like...
Oh yeah, it was ridiculous. Unnecessarily large. But that's 40k for you, right?
I mean, he's a Terminator, so...
Yep. He can handle it. Still clicking to make these things loop. I'll get there one day, Cat. Don't worry.
You think we use the little bits of cork so like all the guys are technically on the base, but it looks like they're standing on like bits of pieces and stuff?
Those are actually all pieces of slate.
Oh, nice.
So they've got some nice weight to them. And I picked those up from the out the front of a local church. So there's a
Nice.
religious aspect to the basing on my word bearers. But yeah, I needed something so they'd be able to fit on there and look reasonable. At one point I was like, maybe I should just put them all on 40s, and then I thought, somebody's going to complain about that. So
Well, you can always go up a base size, you just can't go down.
right. I didn't want to have to worry about that at all. So next up we have so this one I've got a 10-man tactical squad with chain bayonets.
So those are the best.
And so handy to have, throw them in a rhino, run them around, grab objectives if you need to. It's kind of it's one of the funny things about particularly the Space Marine lists for Heresy is everybody was very focused on having the line keyword. So
Yep.
if you have the line keyword, you can control objectives. It's just like, oh, you've got to make sure you've got line. You've got to make sure you've got line. But 60% of the scenarios don't have objectives.
For your scouts, those are just, you use the G0 cultist heads, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
The scouts there. So yeah, that.
And your plasma team looks brighter than your other ones.
Yeah, I think I painted them at a different time, and because I airbrushed them all, I probably put a brighter mix in that.
I mean, they look good. They're a more elite unit. So
I have a feeling I haven't done the weathering on their legs yet, as well. Probably need to do some dusting, but they do look a little bit brighter. Yep.
Scott says, honest question, why would you ever take plain bayonets versus chain bayonets? So, believe it or not, like if you have a couple of squads, the point difference does matter. If I remember correctly, what is it? Chain bayonets have rending,
Yep.
and you can re-roll. And is it flesh bane, or they can just re-roll?
I think it's just rend 6 or something.
All right, and then the regular bayonets are what? You get an extra attack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, depending on what you're fighting.
Yep. It's 1 point for.
It's 1 point for the regular one. It's 2 points for chain bayonets.
Yep. I will admit I've never actually used the chain bayonets. I've never given them chain bayonets in a game yet. But I have them there if I need to. Pardon?
I have. They are gross.
Yeah.
And some legions are definitely like better with them. One of the scariest units I've seen in the game is somebody had a Spartan full of 20 World Eaters, tactical marines with chain bayonets.
Right. Yep.
And they all just came out and murdered everything.
Yep. In that game that I played 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, yeah, there were 20 World Eaters with chain bayonets.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yep. But yeah, these and the plasma guys there are the warp fire blasters, so even better.
Yeah, that's just what it's like a slightly better plasma gun, right?
It's one less strength, so strength 6, which still wounds Marines on a 2+, but it has breaching 4+. So any wound of a 4 or higher means that they're the AP's 2, so it goes straight through Terminators and.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Everyone, good to see you. We'll see you on the weekend at the show.
Sure. I'm gonna look up Bayonets versus chain bayonets. I thought they did something else.
They might have shred. I don't think so. But yes, I have my what do you call it? My mind's gone blank. My characters. So these are all my HQ choices, and a couple of elites. I got my apothecaries in there.
Ah, nice conversion of the Master of Possession.
Yep. So there's Zardu Lyak and the Blade Slaves.
Best bet world tour.
I think he's going to be my
He's gonna be your go-to.
He's going to be my go-to warlord.
The Blade Slaves are just such cool models.
Yeah, they are. But also his ability to buff those other corrupted units is just super cool.
Your Praetor looks great.
Praetor there. So the Master of Possession, the guy with the glowing flaming skulls.
Yeah.
I use him as the Moritat. My Moritat with twin warp fire pistols.
Nice.
So they don't get hot. They're only strength 6, but they have that breaching 4. Which is really nice.
Look at that sad doofus in the middle, though.
Yeah. Yep. Lorgar up there on his rock. They're my apothecaries. Got 2 of them there. Like one of them reading a an iPad.
Yeah,
checking WebMD.
He's like, I gotta order some stuff.
Yep. And got the using the Dark Apostle there as a diabolist. Yeah. James is asking, Dave, when you put out the put the full army out, is the scale difference between the Mark 4s and the Mark 6 noticeable? Not really. No. You might have seen what I've done. I've put the Mark 4s. I've just got that unit of 20, and then all my other squads are from the Mark 6. So they don't really interact a lot on the tabletop, so they don't have the opportunity to see them.
The big thing too is the difference between like regular Marines, Firstborn, and Primaris is noticeable. Like they are a head taller. All the Horus Heresy stuff up until the new box.
Yep.
And then the new stuff, they're all slightly bigger. Like I tell people, it's like back in the day when you'd buy a squad of Marines and then you'd buy one of the heroes, like you'd buy Marnius Calgar or Dante. Like they're all a little bit bigger. That's the difference. It's like the Mark 4 guys and the Mark 3 guys are a certain size, and the Mark 6 guys are all a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so here's the difference. So normal bayonet is +1 strength,
Yeah.
two-handed.
Plus
And
one
then the
strength,
chain bayonet is +1 strength, two-handed, shred.
Shred, okay, not rend. So
Yeah.
shred allows you to re-roll the wound.
Right. It's just like it's what lightning claws have. So
Yep. So +1 strength, so take them to 5, so they're wounding other Marines on 3s and re-rolling.
yeah,
So that's a fairly significant difference. That re-roll is huge.
yeah.
Because you just want to get load up with loads of rolls.
But I'm with you. Like if you're at the end of making your list and you're like, oh, I have 20 points left. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving a squad of 20 Marines regular bayonets.
Yeah,
If you have extra points, yeah, 100% give chain bayonets.
for sure. Onto my vehicles. Vehicles? Do I have? Oh, yep. So after this, we just got one more. So yeah, these are my rhinos. One of the things I love about the Horus Heresy rhinos is that you can take those pintle-mounted heavy weapons, where rather like in 40k, it's just a pintle-mounted heavy, like, pintle-mounted stormbolter.
Yeah.
So, damn.
You gave them all flamethrowers?
Oops. Hang on a second. What's going on? I left it too long.
Sorry, folks. Our IT guy is working on it.
He'll get there. Maybe. That's what I gotta do. There's the button I gotta press. I tell ya. What it is when I import it into OBS, there's a little toggle switch that's like loop, and I just forgot to click it for a lot of them. I assumed that when I already automatically did it for the first one, that it would just apply it to the rest, but it didn't. Yeah.
There we go. So you got so you have them all with they're all heavy flamers?
No, I've got 2 multi-melters and 1 heavy flamer. So the one coming around now is the heavy flamer, and the other 2 are multi-melters.
Yeah, the multi-melt on the Rhino just instantly, it goes from being like, oh, it's a transport, like who cares if it gets killed, to like, oh, it can kill stuff.
Yeah, it will kill stuff. But I like it because it means that people are going to target it. People have to target it. The only thing I don't like is that it takes it from being a 30-point vehicle to being a 65-point vehicle.
Right.
So,
but it's the same as, it's like in 40k terms, it's the same as just buying a multi-melta.
right. Yep.
Like, you can have a melta, or you could have a Rhino with a melta.
Yep. But I do love these, and they are fun to throw out on the table.
They're pretty good. I do dig them.
And next up, then, raw is the Spartan. So, I was going to say, yeah, rhinos are. I think rhinos are good. There's that little bit of extra protection, bringing you guys up the table, because even when you explode, they all have to take a strength 8 hit, but they still get their armor save.
Right.
And generally, most guys will survive.
Yeah, you'll lose a couple, but...
Yeah, but that's a lot less than you'll lose just running across the table. But, yeah, I love the Spartan, though.
Yeah, it's such a great tank. I saw somebody the other day, somebody did a, like an enclosed track protector on the top, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, okay. Radio.
Like basically starting right to the side of the assault ramp.
Yep.
It basically has like a ridge that goes up to the top, and then it stops just at the where the smokestacks are.
I love that you're pointing, as if we can see it on the screen. But yeah, I know what you mean. But
Pretty neat.
yeah, it does look good. But yeah, I didn't show this one off last week. But Thanksgiving, I wanted to save it for today.
The quad last what is it? That's a lass array.
Last cannon array, yeah. Yep.
The dual last cannon arrays, and then it has like twin linked heavy flamers.
Yeah, and mine's got twin heavy flamers. You can have heavy bolters. You can have you can have las cannon, twin link las cannon in there. But
This is the family version of the Land Raider.
Yep.
This is the station wagon version.
Station wagon version, exactly. Yeah, now that I've got 2 Proteus, I've got to put those together and feel how sort of kind of short and stubby they look.
The thing I like about this tank the most, I think, is the fact that it looks realistic. Like, it has the command cupola at the top.
Right.
So you're like, so in theory, because it's a Space Marine tank, it doesn't have a normal crew. A normal crew is like we talked about last week. You have a commander, you have a driver, you have a gunner, and then you have like a loader / like machinist.
Yep.
And in this thing, a Lander supposedly only has a crew of 2.
Okay.
I think. So you've got like the driver, and then you have like the weapon weapon operator who operates the turret and is like I guess the communications officer. So this, you're like, oh right, so they sit up above the crew compartment. So you've got like the pop turret.
Okay.
And the other guy is like right in front of them. Whereas in a normal Land Raider, you're like, where are they sitting? Because there's like an assault ramp that's going to open. It's basically a hallway.
Yeah.
Like on axes. So you're like, where's the crew?
I just always assumed that that they'd stand at the back. You know, in the original Land Raider, well, not the original, but the 2000 Jed Squadron Land Raider kit.
Yeah.
Where they got all that panels, all the panels and screens at the back. I always assumed they just sort of stood there, and even when the ramps open and the cargo got out, that they'd still be standing there, and they'd sort of turn their back like, close the door on your way out, kind of thing. That was also always the impression that I got.
You could be right. I don't know, but
yeah, I think that'd be fun.
This thing's cool though. I do like this one. Ben's favorite is the the Proteus.
Right. Yep.
That's his favorite. He loves that one.
So, well, the thing is so now it's the Land Raider Proteus. You got a Land Raider Proteus Carrier, and the Land Raider Proteus Explorator.
Yeah.
So.
And the Explorator is the original. That's the original Land Raider. That's the one that we all had from Games Workshop with the wraparound treads.
Back in the day.
It didn't have an assault ramp. It just had side hatches.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the Explorator with the dozer blade, which was just the hedge trimmer, really.
Yeah, I love that it sticks down. The whole point of a dozer blade on a tank is it's supposed to like cut down stuff so the tank can like grip and go up. And that's like a lawnmower. So the treads are out here, and the in the middle. It's between the tracks. I was like, all right, I don't see how. It's literally just to kill dudes. That's all it's for.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, oh, just run to the middle, and I'll lay down between it, and it'll just roll over me. And they're like, no, I have a dozer blade to kill you.
Yep. I'll take you out with this. But yeah.
It's such a cool.
So that's the Land Raider Spartan.
What did you use for weathering powder?
I got where is it? Here it is. No, that's not it. There it is. So
you are a super tiny picture, so.
Oh, I am too. Let me there we go. We're back to the original. So modeling pigment from Ammo by Mig.
Okay.
And this is the North Africa dust. And look at that. It's actually showing the right way around.
There we go.
So, yeah, North Africa dust. So I use that. I also have some, I bought these online, I think. With some airfield dust as well.
Okay.
But, as you might be able to see there, so
it's like a sand versus like more like a dirt.
Yeah, this one here, it's definitely more pink, a lot of pink in it, whereas this one here is much more yellow. So I definitely went there with the yellow North Africa airfield. No, North Africa dust. So.
Yeah, airfield is the pink one.
Yeah, it was.
Right on.
You're right. So yeah, that's what I use for those.
Dude, they look great.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited that I've managed to get that much done in the last. So when did I start those? June. It's the last 5 months.
Yeah, that's pretty good, dude. I keep going back and forth about whether or not I want to weather the tanks.
Right.
Because it's gonna look weird because they're Iron Warriors. So basically, my stuff is all chrome looking.
Right.
And I think I might do some like splatter from the treads.
Yep.
But I don't know that I want to do weathering on on the tank itself. I might. I haven't made up my mind yet. So
I think you should. Doesn't have to be over the top. It can be subtle.
yeah, I think it'll help break up like just the total amount of chrome on the thing. But
yeah. Well, one of the big things that it'll do, if you go with like a, pardon me, rusty kind of look, or even just a dusty kind of thing, is it provides another level of contrast. So you've got the contrast of your silver, your bright silver or your chrome kind of look, with a metallic, bright metallic with something like rust or dark dust or mud kind of thing, is you got a shiny silver and a matte dark tone in there.
Yeah.
So having that matte finish on a metallic piece gives some great contrast. Like
yeah,
it's kind of like
I usually matte varnish everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that. It's like that shiny silver on the barrel.
You matte varnished them?
No, really. I generally don't. If I've got a lot of metallics on there, then yeah, I don't want that metallic dulled by the like the high and bright silvers. I don't want those dulled by a varnish.
So Ryan's asking about how I base it. So I think I took Dave's idea. So what I'm going to do is I have all my tanks and I'm going to basically spray them. I'm going to flip them over so they're upside down. And I'm going to spray the bottoms all black.
Right.
Which some of it's going to like, flip up and catch edges and stuff. But I'll prime the bottoms black and then I'll flip them all over and I'll prime them all either lead belcher or whatever the army painter darker one is.
Right.
Gunmetal, I think. So I'll spray them all that, and then I'm going to dust them all. Probably because they're vehicles. Infantry, I'm going to dust at high noon. Vehicles, I'll probably dust like at a 30-degree angle from the front,
right.
So it'll catch the vehicle. So I'm going to dust them all with plate mail,
right,
or rune fang or whatever, and then I'll hit them with agrax, and I'm going to hit them with null oil, and I'll work my way up. Like the closer to the top, it won't have agrax.
Right.
I'm going to null oil the whole model, and then I'll agrax like the bottom 50%.
Okay.
And then I'll probably go back and pick out edges and stuff with granite steel just to make it look more chromy.
Okay.
Just like the edges of gun barrels, edges of gun ports, things that are getting a lot of like friction all the time.
Right.
And then I'll probably do some mud splatter and some rust. And then once that's done, the spot color on them is going to be all of like the energy sources and the lights.
Right.
The one I'm really looking forward to is the one I showed last week, the one with the neutron destroyer.
Right. Yep.
The current Venator. So I'm gonna that'll be like a really bright color plume on that thing, and I'm gonna do some source lighting on it.
Cool.
So there'll be like that to kind of draw the eye and not have it just be like a big block of metal.
Right. Excellent. That'll be good. Scott says, make sure you fix the pigments, Jake, with white spirit or something before you varnish pigments. If you don't, they disappear. It's magical, really. It is. So I have, mind you, I didn't use this on mine, but I do have some of the pigment fixer from Ammo by Mig as well, which you can just apply in a sort of, either you can apply it in capillary action, just dab it into an area and let it spread throughout the pigment.
Right.
But even the pigment fixer will reduce the intensity of pigments. Another thing you can do is when you're applying your pigments, either you can like dust them on. So I have a brush like this for dusting on pigments. Or you can mix your pigment fixer with your pigments.
Okay.
And then however you want to jam them on with like.
So believe it or not, I don't think I've
crappy brush.
I don't think I've ever used actual pigments. I've used I usually just use paint.
Okay.
And I'll just brush it on as like streaks and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've never used like the dusting stuff.
Well, for pigments, you don't actually have to go and buy a particular bottle of pigment. It is a very easy way because most of them are sort of colored to match with something. But you can just get like pastels, like chalk pastels from an art shop, and scrape them off and create your own pigments.
Like we carry them all. We carry the we carry like the scale 75 ones. We have all like the weathering powders and like the different dusts and ashes and stuff that they sell.
Yep.
I think the hard part for me is I always want it. This is gonna sound stupid. I always want my army to match the table that I'm on.
Right.
So I'm always like, oh, well, if I put it on the snow table, I wouldn't have like random dust all over my dudes.
Yep.
But I also want to pick a color that I think will. I'm definitely gonna do some rust. I'm gonna use some of the Rise of Rust, and I'm gonna use a lot of the other stuff like the Typhus Corrosion and the Nylak Oxide to kind of get some different like effects and like metal distortion and sort of disruption. But
you're right. You're right. Yeah, that does sound completely stupid. No, just no, just kidding. It would be nice. I always think if you really want that, you just need to put them all on clear bases. Like completely.
Well, they're all vehicles. They're not. The vehicles won't be on bases.
Okay. Yeah. But I always know that my models are going to spend so much more time on the shelf than they are on the table. So I always want
Chris, I will definitely reach out if I start doing the chrome.
Yep. I always want just want them to look good on the shelf.
Yeah.
And if they a nice cohesive army, that kind of thing. And if they happen to look good on a table, like if 1 in 5 tables that I play on kind of matches them, that's cool.
Well, so, I think what I might end up doing is the only, like I said, if I do those 4 infantry.
Yep.
But even if I don't do them, I'm running I think 3 dreadnoughts. So whatever I settle on for a base for the dreadnoughts.
Yep.
I'll use that same color as like, weathering and mud on the treads and stuff like that. So.
Sure. Yep.
I might do like Martian Earth because I don't think any of my armies have red bases.
Okay.
So I might do like Martian bases for these guys.
No, that could work. Could be good. There's a bunch of great mats around that have that Martian kind of feel.
We just got a bunch of terrain at the shop that has it's all the Badlands stuff from Gale Force 9. So it's like the like the Wile E. Coyote like standing stones and stuff, and like the tours and all that stuff. So that'll be kind of neat. I'm gonna try to get a whole Martian board.
Cool. Yeah, that'll look good.
And then that'll I play on.
Yeah. Everybody has to come to me. Everybody has to play on this.
To my dojo. So.
Yeah. Excellent. I've got a set of terrain that I built for a mining table, but it's all Genestealer Cult. And my Genestealer Cult, my Adeptus Mechanicus bases match it. But now my Leagues of Votann will also match. So I can have Leagues of Votann against my Genestealer Cult on that table.
I really liked all the what was it, Sector Mechanicus? I liked all the Sector Mechanicus bases.
All right, yeah. Yep.
Like the greats and all like the city ones, like those are. I think those are really cool. That was a really cool idea.
Yep. Well, I use the Tech Deck bases from Dragonforge. Suggest Dragonforge range.
So Scott says clear bases are for weirdos.
He's absolutely correct. Totally correct. I've never used a single clear base. Doesn't mean that I'm not weird, but I
don't like them.
I love that. This is the weirdest thing, right? Because I love the concept.
Yeah.
I just know that I could never do it. Never. I don't know.
I just feel like they don't. I feel like they don't. Because they're not really clear. Like they don't. It's not like they're not there. You're like, because when they're on the table, you're like, oh, it's on a white plastic base.
Yeah. Well, a clear plastic base. Yeah.
Right, but it doesn't look clear. It's not like it's glass.
Well, the other thing you can do is if you get a thinner layer, so rather than it being like 3 millimeters thick or 5 millimeters thick, if it's like 1 millimeter thick or half a millimeter thick, it does look like they blend completely directly into the table, except for that slight glossy appearance. But yeah,
I remember back in the day, people used to get, because what were the first clear bases? I think it was when they did like, I think it was like Eldar bikes, right?
Probably.
Eldar jet bikes. I think those were the first. I think those were
No,
the first.
no, there were ones before then, for sure.
For 40K.
Yeah. Yep. Back in the day, there were like hex bases. Like
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Remember those? Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember it. So this kid we used to play with used to get metal rods, like the thickness of like a big paper clip.
Yep.
And he would basically hide them in pieces of the terrain.
Right.
So like make like cool like built up bases with like rocks and whatever, and then there'd be a little tiny rod coming out of it, and then the Eldar jet bike would be on the rod.
Yeah.
But it was really hard to notice because it was so tiny, and because he would always paint it like the same color as whatever the rocks were.
Sure.
So that when it was on the table, you didn't really notice it.
Yeah, it just blends in, for sure.
Yeah, those are always cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a way to go. Definitely a way to go. Nice.
Dave is old.
Thanks, Kat. Yep. I am old. Yep. Yeah, Scott, I think you're right. I think they were for bats and that kind of thing. Probably eagles.
You know what I always wanted to do that I don't think that there's a way to do it. So if I was at like this demo thing, and somebody had built, I think it was like not a Starship Enterprise, but like a spaceship.
Yep.
Right. And they had it so it was floating on a display plinth.
Right.
They used rare earth magnets.
Yep.
And they had angled them so that when you dropped the model, it like was suspended on the field.
Right.
So it couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You could, but if you tapped it, it would spin.
Right.
It would spin forever. But it looked super cool, and I've always been like, I wonder if I could angle like 2 groups of 3.
Right.
And then you could just like float a model, so it would just be like floating. I just think that would look so cool.
Yeah, it would look cool. I don't think it wouldn't be fun for gaming, but
No, it's a massive amount of work, but I feel like it'd be kind of neat.
Yep. Excellent. Okay, so say that compared to you, you're still such a youngin'. Thanks, Kat. I appreciate it. Chris says that he did that for his Necron destroyers, meaning using pieces of terrain. So all the flying stands are crystals. And Fabrice says heading out for ESO trial. Ooh, ESO.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, it is 8:53, so we've run long for our final episode of season 1. When I say final episode, I mean in 2 weeks we'll be back. I'll be back with.
We'll do some holiday stuff. We'll do a recap of PAX Unplugged.
Yep, be all sorts of fun.
Speaking of which, so Rick messaged me. It's called Painting for 3 feet. Painting for 3 feet away.
Right. Okay.
So the idea is your painting models to look good on the table.
Cool. I don't.
So anybody wants to come and hang out, it'll be me and Dave hanging out with Rick and painting some models.
Doing some painting. Should be cool. That'll be on the Sunday. At PAX. Painting from 3 feet. For 3 feet.
Yeah, I think there's 2 classes. There's either 2 classes or there's a break.
I think you said that. Yeah, I think you said there's 2. But yeah, definitely everybody's welcome to come along. Just quickly before we go, I'm going to throw out a question to the chat. That about I'm thinking at some point next year doing a. Thanks, Scott. Yep, we'll try and work on that.
Oh, great! I have an echo. I wish I had known. I would have tried to.
Yeah.
That happened last. It's something in the settings.
It is. It's something in the settings. We'll work it out. But yes, I'm gonna do an Alpha Legion army. But I don't know whether I should do an Alpha Legion army. My original idea for an Alpha Legion army was that they'd have an off blue color. So almost teal blue, but more blue than teal. And they would have ultramarine, like the Omega symbol in its upside down, in its standard form.
So you're painting them as chameleon ultramarines.
Chameleon ultramarines, yeah. So people would look at it, and their first thought would be, "Oh, that's the ultramarine. Oh, wait, it's different. What's going on?" Like that, or paint them as, what do you call it? as Alpha Legion, but with like a purple undershadow. So from underneath it, all the shadows would be purple, and the top parts, basically the highlights, would be teal. Kind of thing. So almost as if, like, the way you do it would be to get the model, and then like just
spray him purple, spray him teal.
Yeah, spray him purple from underneath, spray him teal from top, touch up some purple or whatever you need to do, something like that, or do a Black Shields army. So do an army that kind of looks like it's gathered together the remnants of the Iron Hands and the Salamanders and the what do you call it? The Raven Guard. But just any of the chipping that happens on those black armor plates be like teal chipping. So it's obviously they're an Alpha Legion underneath.
Josh, you could do all of that.
Combine the ideas. Yeah.
All of my tactical squads, I would make them look like fake Ultramarines.
Okay.
And then like your squad of Terminators, I would have them look like Shattered Legions or Black Shields or whatever. And then you could all your specialist units, you could have them be like if you do a unit of Headhunters,
yep,
which is only an Alpha Legion unit, you could do them with the teal and purple.
Right.
And if you run like Exodus, which you 100% should, paint him like an Alpha Legionnaire. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I'll keep playing around with the ideas and see where it can go. Maybe I need to do some test models or something.
If they're all based the same, it would kind of pull the whole army together.
Right. Really it would. But yeah, I think I'd lean into like a black. To do that, I'd lean into a black, predominantly black kind of armor look.
Okay.
But it could still work. Maybe I could have black with some purple underlighting.
I just think I love the Alpha Legion. They're one of my favorites. I love that even in the book they don't have a heretic trait. They only have a loyalist trait and 2 neutral traits.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're definitely good. But anyway, so there we go. We are at the end of the show. I need to go and prep for the outro. Okay, I'm ready to. I'll do all the fun things that I should have done at the beginning as well. Okay, I'll run through just quickly. So, this first season has been a wonderful experiment. Jake and I have enjoyed doing this each week. We are taking a week off. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the Christmas special, or holiday special. Then I head off to Australia for 2 weeks. I come back, and then 2 weeks after that, January 10th, we'll be back with Season 2. We're going to mess around with a few different things. Jake and I are going to talk about exactly what we're going to do. But we hope to have a guest on a fairly regular basis.
Probably a couple.
A couple of guests? Not all at the same time.
No, spread out.
Spread out, one at a time, because that's all my technical bizzo can handle. We still have to work out how we do that, and where we get them on, and how it appears on the screen, and all that sort of fun stuff. But we'll get that worked out. It'll happen.
Sounds good.
But
someone wants to know what the theme is for the next show.
For the next show, holidays. So yeah, Scott. So holidays. So anything holiday related. Then
it's got the Red Gobbo.
Yep. All sorts of stuff. So anything Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween.
Sure.
Easter, Hanukkah. Any of them.
Whatever you're into.
Yep. So that's good. So it says, what's the next theme I've struck out on the last 3 to 13 episodes? You were doing really well for a while there, Scott. We had that one episode which was like almost all Scott.
It was a Scott episode.
It was a Scott episode. But definitely cool. Mark Murphy says loves the anti-ultras idea. Chris says purple undershadow all the way. All good. But not on clear bases, no.
Josh just combined the ideas.
Yep. Okay, so you managed the last trip to Australia without Australian nature killing you, so trying again. Good luck. Watch out. I'll be fine. And Dave, yeah, you can send a pic of you as Santa. That'd be great. We would love to see that. One of the fun things when I go to Australia, my mum has already booked the appearance, but we're going to Sandy Claus, which is pictures with Santa on the beach.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it'll be very cool. We did it 3 years ago, so we'll do it again this time around.
Right on.
But no, awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel. Once this is live, well, once this is up as a video on the channel, go and leave a comment, all that sort of stuff. Once we get going next season, I'm going to be putting a lot more effort into building the viewership, all sort of thing going. We're not building towards a Patreon or anything like that. We're just doing it so that we can talk about cool stuff and show off some cool stuff. So if you've got cool stuff that you want shown off, let us know.
Absolutely.
And it'll be great.
And again, thank everybody so much. Thank you guys so much. Like, we really appreciate this. Like, this basically started as just like, hey, Dave and I want an excuse to hang out and talk about stuff.
Yep.
I was like, well, let's do it as a web stream, and I was like, yeah, okay, that'll be fun. Like, I would love for this to turn into something where, we have to hire Mel's daughter as like our IT person because we just have too much stuff to deal with.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a blast, and it's super cool coming on here every week. And if it was just me and Dave talking to each other, like I said from day one, I'd be fine with that. But knowing that there's other people out there that seem to dig it and like, enjoy coming on here and hanging out with us while we talk about stuff, that's awesome. I'm really happy to know that people like it. So
yeah, no, it's definitely cool. We really appreciate it. Blah blah blah.
Yes, that.
We love all the talking. It's wonderful, and the words and the stuff. So
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for a wonderful evening and for a wonderful season. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks. We'll be back.
And as always,
Build, paint, play.
Shut up and sit down.